What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Basics podcast. Super excited to be here. My name is Jonathan Henderson.
It's a tongue twister, isn't it?
It is.
Back to the back.
Welcome back to the Basics podcast.
Yeah, man, exciting week. Just a lot of great things I know going on in my personal life and personal business. So I've been very blessed with that. And I know you've been busy with some baseball stuff, brother.
Grinding, trying to get some work done, being an entrepreneur, trying to balance that family life. Full baseball season swing right now. So, like, our trips have been like freaking Chapel Hill, North Augusta, Clemson. We'll be in Raleigh this weekend. Super busy.
So those who don't know that Hindu's son, Elijah Henderson, we call him Six, and is starter for Clemson Tiger baseball, second base, and will fluctuate batting, but usually right there at the top of the batting order too. And he was offensive MVP last year. So let me ask you about that. When you go on these trips, you go on all of them, all their away games, or just the ones you can?
The ones that can, because like in Boston, they were no fans allowed in Boston because they're whack when it comes to their CDC stuff. They don't follow the CDC. They follow liberalism and Fauciism. And so I take that back because we got the call Thursday night that we could go to the game. They were going to allow parents to be able to go to the game. And we got that call Thursday night. Well, it was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday series that got switched to Friday, Saturday because of weather. And, we just decided to watch it on TV.
Have you been there to the Boston area to watch them play before?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
That's on air. We travel a lot, and that's one place I haven't been. I'd like to go check out. But
no offense to my fellow Bostonians, but man, it's a cool city because it's got so much history.
That's probably the reason.
But dude, it's dirty.
Is it? Philadelphia's that way too. I don't know if you.
Been to Philly. Been to Philly a bunch,
Philadelphia too, but it's literally, if you go to Philadelphia, one corner is like just beautiful, like the streets clean. Not joking. You can literally turn a corner and there's human feces on the ground.
Yeah, it's nasty.
It's just nasty. And so, been a lot of crazy stuff happened this past year. Election cycle too, with stuff in that area.
My goodness. It's a crazy world that we live in. And, I told some people just on Sunday, man, I'm excited. I'm excited because of the times that we're living in. Like,
yes.
I'm not getting depressed because of everything that you see on the news. Like, we do live in a world where it's absolutely crazy times and reprobate minds. I mean, we live in a world where, we're calling evil good, we're calling good evil, and we basically have let the fox into the hen house, if you will. And people are upset about it, but I'm like, no, man, we're actually living Bible stories.
Yeah.
Like, we're living the Bible right now. Like, the stuff that you're seeing in here.
The New Testament, right?
So we got, there's the Old Testament, and there's the New Testament, but people forget that there's the Living Testament too.
Yeah.
So, we're actually reading from the first two, but we're living that third one.
Living the third one, that's right.
And so, I'm excited for that. I'm not discouraged about that, because
especially we know the ending. Yeah, we know the outcome.
Know that outcome, man. So if you're secure within the outcome, it's not fun and it's not good, and yet times are hard and times are difficult, but anything worth fighting for, you're going to have to go through a struggle to be able to get the prize. People we live in a microwave society where people, they want the finished product immediately, but there's a process to everything. And if you don't follow the process, then what you're doing is you're shortcoming the prize at the end. And you might get a little bit of it, but I just talked to some people not too long ago. As a matter of fact, I think I talked about this on our weekly higher impact call. So we have a Back to the Basics podcast, but we also have a Back to the Basics podcast higher impact weekly Wednesday call at 11 Eastern every single week. And I was just talking about the mustard seed and how it's the smallest of all seeds, but when it's planted, it grows so big that the birds of the air can build the nest in its branches. But what happens is the same wind blows on us all. And if you don't have a deep root system, then what happens is when the wind blows, it just causes things to fall over. Like, if the mustard seed started out small or started out big but had very shallow roots, then what happened would be when the wind would blow, it would just knock it over. But because it has so much deep roots, it's got a deep foundation, it's got a deep truth to it.
Feeds back to last week's episode too. What is your foundation? And so many things are like you said, they see quick success, it's taken away fast because it wasn't rooted in the right thing. And so, which goes into this week's podcast. This topic, excited about, is not only that foundation, but then what is the truth? Where's your truth coming from too? And so, and you want to elaborate more on that?
Yeah, the truth is the truth. And it doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what you believe. Truth
Correct.
is truth. See, we live in a world that says just because you say it, just because you believe it, well, that's okay. It can, and that makes you a snowflake. That is not the case. It doesn't make you a strong person. You know, there is truths. There's absolutes that are truths no matter what you believe. You know, here's the deal: the sun is going to rise in the east and it's going to set in the west. That is an absolute truth. And you can say, and you can think, and you can believe that the sun is actually rising in the north and setting in the south, but you're wrong, right? You're wrong. You know, it's just kind of like, you know, if you're born with a penis, that makes you a male. If you're born with a vagina, that makes you a female. Now, you can say one or the other and it doesn't, and you get to pick whichever one you want, but it doesn't make you right. You got to get off of this.
Even not biblical, like scientifically, because I see a lot of we hear, oh, I trust the science, is what I hear the far left saying and stuff too. And they even, you know, even with the mask and all that stuff too. And I say, okay, well, where's your science? Where's your truth? Where's your foundation in science? Where it makes it you be right? Because just you being right should not infringe on my beliefs itself. The way I look at, for example, what is life? If someone said they found a single-celled organism on Mars or any other planet, what would they say scientifically? We found life on Mars or another planet. But a single-celled organism inside a human, actually multi-celled, when it's a fetus, is not. You see what I'm saying? So then that's not murder. So like it's where is that truth in? Your truth can't just be something that you want it to be when you want it to be.
Quit trying to bend things to make it seem like you're right. Everybody's concerned with being right.
Yeah.
And it just blows my mind. And I would rather be wrong and wealthy. And when I say the word wealthy instead of rich, because, you know, a lot of our people that watch us, you know, they're entrepreneurs, they build business. And yeah, a goal in that is to be able to make money. And, you know, I don't think anybody that makes money wants to make a little bit. I think most people that make money, they want to make a lot of it. And so people tend to throw the word out there rich, but I don't want to throw the word out there rich because it has nothing to do solely with money, but it has to do with everything about my life. I want to be wealthy. I want to be complete. I want to be whole as a human being. I want to have all of my stuff in line. And so when you start trying to bend things and twist things to prove that you're right, when in all actuality you're just wrong, it makes you look like an idiot. And we live in a politically correct society to where I'm not supposed to be able to look at you in the face and call you an idiot, but I will. And the reason why is because nobody else is doing it. Nobody else is strong enough to do that. Man, get off your high horse and start getting your principles in order. Start laying the foundation in order and quit worrying about being right and start worrying about being wealthy. Like, if you're believing in some of these processes, the only thing that you're doing is you're killing your legacy that you're leaving in life. You will have no legacy whatsoever. And maybe that doesn't apply to you. Maybe you don't want that, but that's something that I'm interested in, is the legacy that I'm leaving for my family for generations to come. And it's not only to do with money, but it is actually to do with the principles, mindsets, and belief systems that what we believe.
And all that's Proverbs 13:22. A good man leaves generational wealth. It's not just money, like you said. It's all those little principles right there in itself. And the truth is always going to be the truth, because, and I don't want to have to be right all the time. You know, the truth will always be right.
Right.
And I'm okay if someone says if I'm doing something wrong, like as a basketball player. There were times I thought, oh, I know more than this person or that person, and then you get kind of smacked in the face when someone gets up is better than you or is more knowledgeable than you, and you have to humble yourself. I think you spoke about this a couple weeks ago, the law of reflection. You have to look at yourself and reflect and say, okay, I'm wrong here. You know, I'm wrong here. And so in business, the business that we first built together, one of our many businesses, right? There are a lot of growth along the way. It's network marketing, so there's a lot of personal growth and development. That's one reason why I do like the industry, because you have to grow as a person. And there were things that were doing wrong. We had to constantly be open to listen to people that knew better, to be able to teach us the truth of that, because where we thought something was right. And then also we had to stand up and say, people, well, no, they ain't right. So like,
which is hard.
Yes.
And sometimes you're going to get ostracized by people that you love and respected, and even people that you trusted. What I'm seeing today, especially around some people that I had a high level of respect for, is I'm watching their actions not line up to their words.
Wow.
And, that makes you a bad person. Like if you're doing things just to be able to create an income and you're not standing to the foundation that you believe in and your actions aren't lining up to your words, that makes you a bad person. Somebody needs to tell you that makes you a bad person. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to pick that topic back up here in a second, but we're going to stop for this short break.
What's up, everyone? Listen, guys, you've heard us talk about best little housekeepers in town, in Greer, South Carolina, and I'm just telling you right now, it's time to get things cleaned up in this pandemic. People worry about germs and stuff. Perfect company to get in there, clean up your house, keep all that, get that out of your head, and also to save you time too, brother.
Even if you don't want to clean your own toilets, like let's be real. Like I heard somebody talking about the other day that somebody criticized them because they had somebody clean their own toilets. And I'm like, well, you know what? Go out and produce enough income to be able to get somebody else to clean your toilets, and then you don't have to. Maybe somebody's a better toilet cleaner than you, and I know who they are. It's Best Little Housekeepers.
That's it. Hit them up, 864-494-7912. Boom. Your truth, my truth, whose truth? Don't you get like... You know where I'm going with this?
I do.
You hear some people all the time. They'll say, "Well, my truth is," and I understand that they're trying to say the way I see it. Well, the way you see it, that might be your truth right now. But let me give you the facts. See, there's a difference between ignorance and stupidity. Stupidity means you know and you choose to do the opposite of the truth. Ignorance means you just don't know the truth. And once you learn the truth, if you choose to do the opposite of that, you're no longer ignorant. You're now stupid.
And that's here's what we want you to understand too: is it's okay for you to be ignorant. It's okay for you.
We're ignorant to things.
Absolutely, but it is not okay for you to be stupid. If you just want to swim upstream for the sake of swimming upstream, and don't get me wrong, like I spent the majority of my adult life building network marketing businesses. That's swimming upstream. I love it. I love the team building aspect of the culture. I love the togetherness. I love that we're providing a service or a product. I love everything about that. And most people don't like that, and I'm okay with it. But there again, I have people that I know that most of these I used to respect. I don't respect a lot of them anymore, but when they started showing me who they truly were, I realized real quick I didn't want to be around them anymore, and so I started swimming upstream. And it wasn't upstream because I was just wanting to go that direction. It was because I understand where my foundation is at, and there's nothing wrong with my foundation by doing that. So in some circumstances, like what we're talking about right now, is swimming upstream, because everybody else, they want you just to follow in and it be okay with what they agree with is my truth. And no, your truth is wrong. Your little boy is not a girl. It is wrong to murder babies. I saw one dude who supports abortion was all over social media the other day because somebody beat up somebody. And it was a man that beat up a woman and just beat her like a dog, and there was other people standing around videoing it and watching it. And he was talking about how wrong that was. And I'm like, absolutely. That is absolutely wrong. Like some of those people that were videoing, standing around videoing, watching this man beat this dude.
The car wreck too, the girls, two teenage girls in DC hijacked the Uber Eats driver. People filmed the whole thing and he wrecked, and you can actually, it's graphic if you see it, because he's laying there. As he's dying, they crawl out. He got thrown from the car. They crawl out, and people are just filming. There's actually military people there because it's at the Capitol, right outside of it. And yeah, it's pretty sad.
They need a trip behind my woodshed with me.
I know. And they walk over the man's dead body as he's fighting for his life, but you can tell it's just probably nerves or something going, not really him alive anymore. And then they step back over him and say, "Oh, I forgot my phone in the car." And other people are filming this, So I don't know how to go on this tangent, but the thing is like the truth is the truth. That's it. Like, who doesn't stop and say, if these people are going to arrest them, I'm going to hold them citizens arrest until the cops get here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I
and
mean-
so to walk over someone's, and this person was an immigrant from Asia and was the sole provider of the family. And so, and came to America for true
Opportunity.
yes, and
Yeah.
they're a true citizen. Like they not illegal.
They did it. Hold up. We are
They
not.
followed the
we are-
truth,
we are
right?
not. We are not against immigrants. We are all immigrants in this
Yep.
country. You know, if you're not a Native American Indian, then you are an immigrant of this country. We love immigrants, but do it the right way.
Well, there's rules for a reason. It's to stay with the truth, you know, like because. But I go off of this tangent here too, going back to something you said earlier about flowing upstream, fighting upstream, and then also people showing who they are. The truth never hides; it's going to come out. And so, other ways I've heard that is when people show you who they are, believe them. Okay. And time exposes and promotes every single person. And so everything.
When
too, not just
people
person.
show you who they are, believe them.
And and the truth will always set you free, right? But it's true. That is the truth too. It's going to come out. The truth and see. I was in another podcast. It's called Burnt Phone Marketing,
Right.
and that's going to be released in thinking maybe sometime in April. I was a guest on there, and it was mainly talking about that and talking about. The last thing they asked me said, leaving this podcast, what's the one thing you want people, let's say you just did a big presentation, they all heard you, and I said, I want them to know that I was truthful, that I was good, because you know if something's good and truthful, they're not, even if they start to veer, they're going to be pulled back.
That's
It's
right.
like for me personally, why do I do things? It's because I do have a good heart, because I want to do the right things. If someone's lying there dying, I'm trying to save them, and I'm trying to get the people that killed and murdered them.
You're,
you know?
you're not trying to video it.
Correct. No.
Put it on social media. so
Maybe
you
video
get
while I
likes.
arrest them, say, look, this is the person doing it. You know, I'm not going to just step back and just you know, just so I can get clicks on and make money. You know, off of it. So, but going back to what, like you said, time promotes and exposes everyone and every single thing.
Yeah, for sure, 100%. I've seen it in my own life countless times. But when you said say it again, when somebody shows you who they are, believe them.
And I think it was, I forgot who said it, but we'll put that in the show notes too.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's on the tip of my tongue. Don't you hate when it happens?
It happens all the time too.
Yeah.
Especially
But,
when you're trying to remember something
Maya
right there.
Angelou, I believe.
Okay.
I believe so. Maya Angelou had said, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. And so, because it's biblically what comes off the tongue is coming from the heart, you know.
Oh, yeah.
And so,
Bible says, out of the heart, the mouth speaks.
Mouth speaks. That's it. And so, that's why I truly believe if you stay with the truth yourself, the truth will always show up. It'll expose others.
Yeah.
It'll expose things.
Hmm.
It'll expose the trueness behind someone's intentions. And so, man, this episode, because coming in today, we were kind of like, how were we going to go for this episode? But I think right now, I'm fired up.
No, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
fired up.
I think some people are going to be, like, well, my truth that I believed, it isn't necessarily true. Or maybe you don't even know what you believe. Think about the last episode that we just talked about. What's your foundation? Okay, you want to believe this. Why? Where do you get your information from? Who are you listening to? Like, where do you develop your belief system, and why do you believe that? Like, if you don't know, it's the problem I have with most Christians is because
Come on, preach.
they can't they just believe what they believe because they've heard it from somebody else. They don't actually take the time to study, to research, to do their due diligence, and to understand what they believe and to be able to form their own belief systems. I believe that the Bible says to study to show yourself approved, and what that means is it simply means that it's the glory of God to hide the truth, and it's the honor of kings to unearth it, to uncover it, right? And so that means that you're going to have to put in some effort. We want to live in a society, we've been trained and programmed to live in a society where everything comes easy, where everything's given to you. Like, look at the world that we're living in right now. Like, our government is trying to make you dependent on them.
They're saying that.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we're on our way. We're on the rescue. And if you remember, I don't know if you ever heard the clip or remember the quote by President Reagan where he said, I'm going to say it wrong, but if you look it up, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But the four worst things you could hear from the government is, "I'm here to help" or something.
Help is on the way.
Help is on the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what for words when I said it. But
It's bad, man. It's so bad, and we're buying into that because like how things change. Let's go back to something I talked about on a weekly call. I believe it's really relevant for right now. Is that look at how the Industrial Revolution changed our society.
Yeah.
It took entrepreneurs, it took business owners, and it transformed them into employees or modern day slaves. And the reason why I say that is because it took time for that to happen. It's taking time for our government to be able to convince people that they should rely on them.
Yep.
And the way that they're doing
And
it
trust
is
them.
exactly the way that the Rockefellers and the Carnegies and all of those people got the farmers out of the field
Yep.
and got the workers in the plant. It's because they don't just try to change instantly. They know it's going to take generations. And
This is good.
so they start talking about pain points and pain topics. And they want to convince you that they can eliminate all of that pain, not for you, but for your kids and for future generations if you just do this.
Well, anything like you said, it's gradual over time, and they know like it's not force fed right away because the truth will be exposed right away.
Yeah.
And so when they can do this, and now with big tech covering, controlling everything and their own agenda, it's like stuff's going on the border right now. They're blocking media from seeing it. That's totally not American. And I'll tell you about this because we know that America is not perfect, and I want everybody to understand this. America has made mistakes, but America, the idea, is not a mistake. Listen to that. America's made mistakes, but we are not a mistake. And what that means is, has there been different things that we're not proud of as Americans that's happened?
Yes.
Yes. But I'll tell you this, we're the only country in the world that people are trying to get into illegally.
Right.
that has actually...
Oh, it's a horrible place, and all these people are just mean and miserable and da-da-da-da.
In other
But
countries, they're throwing gay people off the roofs just because they're gay. Here, it's like it's funny.
Even we who do not believe or subscribe to that thought process, that should not happen.
No.
Period.
It's yeah, because if you're going to do that, you should do that to somebody that's looking at porn sites. You should do that to somebody that's cursing or like any kind of sin like that. And so, and I just lost my train of thought. Dude, that's the.
You got you all tore up.
I know. I'm just hyped up over it all because it's just great stuff. And let me collect those thoughts. We go take this other break real quick and come back because
Let's
then
do
finish
it.
this out, brother.
Let's do it, man. This part of the episode is brought to you by Legacy Banking. LegacyLife.co, that's LegacyLife.co, is a financial services company that handles everything from insurance, life planning, benefits, college funding, you name it. It's a one-stop shop by people that care about you and have your needs and your best interest in mind. So you can actually go to that website again. It's LegacyLife.co. For all your legacy banking information, just hit us straight up.
I'm by myself.
I got you, dog. I got you.
Got my
My
back.
phone's blowing up.
G16.
I know my phone's blowing up. We're all super busy.
One thing I want to go back what we ended off of is that how America, like I said, itself has had mistakes, but it's not a mistake. And you think about other countries, the way they treat people of other color. Like I know in China right now, there's a lot of things happening to basically like concentration camps for Muslims, and the world's silent about it. Seems to be silent about it. And we have the Holocaust. We have just so many things. And during the slave trade, only 3% of the slaves went to America, so other people actually got slaves. Like awesome, just bad things, right, and stuff.
Horrible.
But I will tell you, like even today, last administration, President Trump had the first openly gay cabinet member in the history of the U.S. Now, was it all over the social media news and all the mainstream media news? No, because they didn't make it.
It doesn't go along with their agenda.
And it wasn't like it was this person. They didn't look at him. It's like Martin Luther King says, he looked for the day for us to be judged by the content of our character, not the color of our skin. And so, why does that matter if this person? The administration looked at a person that was good at their job and they were competent at what they did, and that's why they got the position. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It wasn't like, oh look, we're just getting this person because they're transgender, and we want to put them in this position just because of that, And so, I don't know why I went on a tangent on that too, but just itself, looking at how America, like you said, things have taken time. It's taken time to progress to where we are, but I truly believe, like the times that we grew up in, I truly believe that was, the 90s. Think about it. Some of my heroes that I watched on TV were African American, Black Americans, father homes, figures. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it wasn't race and a lot of things that wasn't just brought to the forefront, race, or gender or anything like that. It was, finally, I think a time where it was the least racist time or least bigoted time during the 90s and stuff we grew up. Do you agree? Or, for me, that's what I see, because I didn't see there was nobody. I'm not saying there were racist. There are racist people. There's racist people of all colors.
Well, that's the world's not perfect, and there's always been racism. We just haven't called it racism, and that's why we're talking about the truth here today. And so, there's a ton of smoke and mirrors. It's kind of like the Nike thing with having that rapper do all that crap to that Nike shoe, and then automatically people just start slamming Nike. And I'm not saying Nike's a good company or anything else like that. I don't care. It doesn't bother me one way or another. But what bothers me is while that was going on, there was probably something going on the backside, because that captured your attention.
Yeah.
And something was probably going on in the backside to get us focused over here. It's kind of like what you said about the news media not being allowed at the border and seeing what's really going on in the border. And the reason is because they can't control that setting. Like, they only want to be in a setting where they can control it. And if they're not controlling it, then they're probably trying to get your attention elsewhere, so that way you get focused over there instead of the topic at hand. And so be careful of what you're calling truth. Make sure that what you're calling truth is truth. Like, let's be clear. Like, if we've come out against transgender, we've come out against homosexuality, and we've come out against abortion and a lot of stuff like that. Now, let me be crystal clear when I say that we're not telling you that you're a bad person. We're not saying that we don't love you. We do. The Bible says that we have to love you.
Love the person, hate the sin.
But that doesn't mean that we have to agree with you, right? And if you want to debate something, let's just debate truths. That's all. Where do you get your information from? Who are you listening to? Like, where did you pull that truth? Like, I'm looking at you, and yeah, you're a dude. Well, why do you think that you're a girl? Because you like to cook? I grew up cooking in the kitchen with my grandma. Like, we called it the Boo J kitchen, because everybody called my grandma Boo, right? It's a Boo J kitchen, right? I'd love to get, but we live in a world where we're actually trying to turn men into women and women into men, and they're actively doing that. And it just blows my mind that people aren't smart enough to realize it. Just because you have female tendencies doesn't mean that you're a female.
Correct.
Just because you like this, no, man. Just because you're an athlete, and you play a sport doesn't mean that you can't be a woman.
Yeah, well, and I think that's degraded and brought back women's rights majorly, because they fought for the right to be able to have their own WNBA. They fought for the right to be able to do things. When all of a sudden a man can all of a sudden just say, "Hey, I'm a female."
I feel like I'm a female inside.
Like, could you imagine me? Like, I'm 6'5", 350 pounds, right? What if I said I want to play? I identify as a 15-year-old girl. Like, I want to play girls basketball. At that age, I would throw girls. There might be so often there might be a woman about my size, but very rare,
right?
And so and I just think it's pulled back those women's rights. I saw somewhere where it was Olympian, and I wish I could remember the names and the times, but a high school kid, male, broke the record in high school for male time, which also beat the world record in women's sports speed.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So, so it goes back to the truth is always going to expose itself. That is the truth. Like if you're going to compete, like, I don't mind if like, for example, when we were in school, there was a girl at Palmetto High School that was kicking on the football team. Cool.
Right.
That's cool. That's called co-ed, right?
Yeah.
But don't all of a sudden say, I'm a boy because I'm on the guy's team. You are still a female. Women are strong. Women can do things that guys can't, and guys can do things that women can't.
So, like when you apply to a college, you know if it is a co-ed college, you know if it's an if it's an all-male college, you know if it's an all-woman college. You know that before you got in. Like, why are you suing the college because I'm a female, but I want to go to school here, but it's no females allowed? Like what? Like why are you who do you think you are? You know what I mean? Like, we just talked about Bob Jones. They're getting sued by a bunch of lesbians right now, and I'm like, well, you knew going to Bob Jones that it was a fundamental Christian university. Like they've stood the test of time there, and why are you coming out and suing them because they don't support the LGBT community? You know that they don't. Like, why are you trying to make them do that? Like, you don't want me to make you,
This is good.
believe that you can't be gay. Then why are you trying to make me accept who you are? Right?
It's like my rights don't end where yours begin.
Come on.
Because I'm good with if you are a grown adult and you're I'm saying I'm not good with it myself doing it, but I'm saying I'm not going to discriminate for some if I'm running a store or if I'm in a store and a guy comes in dressed as a woman and thinks he's a woman. I'm not going to discriminate them and do anything like that. But at the same time,
But don't come at me, bro.
correct, and don't make me think that I have to say that you're a female,
Come on.
because that's not my beliefs. You can believe your way, but don't force me to believe my way. It's the same thing we said with masks a couple weeks ago. You want to wear a mask? Great.
Great.
I don't. You shouldn't yell at me for not wearing a mask.
Yeah.
And if you've gotten the vaccine and you've already had it, why do you need a mask too? Anyway?
But you might spread the. Well, you know what? You might drive home tonight and you might get hit by a drunk driver and die.
My body, my choice.
You might.
You never say about abortion. Well, the same thing with the mask,
Yeah,
right?
my body. It's so it's jacked up. But here's the exciting news: is that if you believe the way that I believe, if you believe the way that we believe, if you believe in the truth, you do understand that the outcome is already set in stone,
Right.
and that's not changing. So don't be wavered, don't be upset, don't let your energy, don't let your time, effort, energy go to focusing on all of these things. I don't even listen to good news that I like a lot because it's taking my energy off of what I'm actually supposed to be doing. And so make sure that you're standing where you need to be standing. Don't be a snowflake. Just don't be one of those people. Let's just continue to be the group of people that just does the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And if you want to know what the right thing is, in my belief system, it's right here. That's it, right there. It stands on that. If it ain't in there, then I need to subscribe to it. If it's in there, then I need to follow it. Does it mean that I'm perfect? Most of you that know me, and I'm going to let the whole entire world know right now, no, I'm not perfect. There is no other but this right here, it is perfect. If you want to debate that, that's on you.
I dropped the
it?
mic.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's it. I think that's a good way to end this episode. And
Join us on the Higher Impact weekly call. So you can go to Back to the Basics podcast. The password is B2B. And
All capital.
All caps. It's all right there for us. It's all over our social media outlets and that sort of thing. Join us on the Wednesday Higher Impact call at 11 o'clock. We're actually talking about the plan to start, implementing a lot more content, starting to push a lot more content out there. So if you're getting it, if you're down with us, if you like what we're saying, if you don't like what we're saying, if you want to debate us, just hit us up. Like, subscribe, comment, reach out, network, figure out our phone numbers, all of that stuff, email addresses, all of that kind of stuff. Reach out with us because we want to grow this community of people that are not snowflakes, that are open to being able to debate what their truth actually is.
On a foundation of a truth, and people that are going to do that, because this world needs leaders that's going to do that, because there's too many people, like you said, snowflakes, they're all different. Every single different. So
Was that Officer Tatum says people are made of wet toilet paper and marshmallows?
No, I heard that. What?
Oh yeah, dude, I freaking love that cat. Right? It's like, oh, these people out here, they're made of wet toilet paper and marshmallows. Now, for some of y'all that like when you get toilet paper wet, it disintegrates, right? And a marshmallow is a marshmallow for a reason, and that's what people are. We live in a really, really touchy-feely, sensitive side of the world that we live in, and it's just jacked up, man.
It's the truth is not going to be easy to hear. The truth is is going to punch you in the face, and you're going to be persecuted for the truth. You want to see people angry? Look at the person telling the truth.
No, here you go. And I'm going to end on this because we're about to wrap up here. Know why. Listen, people that believe like me, people that don't believe like me, know why you call the truth the truth.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it the truth just because you're calling it the truth. Know why. If you don't know why, take the time to figure out what you know, what you believe, and why you know it and why you believe it. Don't be weak. Don't be soft.
Truth doesn't care about feelings, so it's the truth. And also be looking on our Instagram page too. Like you said, go like, subscribe, everything, get us out there. And it's not for us; it's for we want to grow this community. But on Sunday nights, be looking for this. We're going to go live on our Instagram page and just kind of recap some of this, a smaller version, maybe 10, 15 minutes or so. Won't be long, and then and that's it, brother.
Free plug to Anchor Bat Company. Love supporting entrepreneurs in our area, people that are out there hustling and grinding. So free shout out to Anchor Bat Company, my buddy Matt Rollins, making things happen over there. So you guys have a great rest of the day. Talk to you later. God bless.